Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Dodge College student panel. Thank you all so much for joining me today. My name is Priscilla, and I'm the Director of Admission for Dodge College. The goal of the session today is to learn a little bit more about student life here at Chapman and more specifically Dodge College. I will start off by asking our students a few questions, and then we will have some time for Q&A. Feel free to start putting your questions in the Q&A section. If you see a question someone else has posted and you also want it answered, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Some questions will be answered live and others will be answered in the chat. We will do our best to get through as many questions as possible. So let's go ahead and get started by having our panelists introduce themselves, starting with their name, major, year, and where they're from. So Parker, can you go first?
Yeah. Hi, my name's Parker. I am a sophomore public relations, advertising, and entertainment marketing major, and I'm from Hermosa Beach, California.
Awesome. Caroline?
Hi everyone, my name is Caroline. I am a broadcast journalism and documentary senior here at Dodge, and I'm originally from the SoCal area, kind of 30 minutes away from Chapman.
Awesome. Leo?
Hi everyone, I'm Leonardo. I'm a senior here, film and TV production major, um, minor in game development programming, and then I'm from Seattle, Washington originally.
Perfect. And Ilana?
Hi, I'm Alana. I am a senior creative producing major and advertising minor, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Thank you guys. I'm going to start off by having you guys tell me a little bit about your experience so far and things that you're involved in at Chapman. They could be Dodge related, but they don't have to be. So give us some things that you guys are involved in. Parker, you want to get started first?
Yeah. So I'm the freshest of us. So I joined most of my activities last year. One of them, I'm on the university program board, which is basically any events for students run by students. So I'm on the marketing committee for that. And I love it. I'm in our sketch comedy group. It's like for the broader Chapman, not just Dodge. So we like write sketches and perform them. And I'm in Delta Kappa Alpha, the film society here, which I'm sure Alana will get into.
Yeah, Caroline, do you want to go next?
Yeah, awesome. Here at Chapman, I'm a part of the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network, which we call CSBN. We broadcast all of Chapman's Division III sports. So if you're really into sports broadcasting, I would highly recommend that. I'm also kind of a part of the Docu Club, which is more for the documentary side of our major. Of course, I'm on the admissions team, and then I'm also a part of Chapman News, which is like the senior capstone for the major, but it is also I would say like something you do a lot outside of class. But yeah, those are the things I'm a part of at Chapman.
Thank you, Leo.
Admissions team as well. Sometimes I go to Film Society screenings. It's a really cool club for people that love watching and studying movies. That we do screenings and discuss them, which is super great. But mainly, I focus on taking part in as many student film productions as possible, whether that's undergrad or grad, going on set and helping out in different capacities, meeting a bunch of people and learning how movies are made.
Thank you, and Ilana.
Yeah, I am a creative producing major, so I think a lot of my time takes up with like producing films and also just getting on set and being involved in that sort of sense. But extracurricularly, I'm a part of the Cinematic Professional Society Delta Kappa Alpha. I've been in it since my freshman year, so it's been like a really long time. I've held various positions in the chapter, and I currently serve as the president. So that takes a lot of my time, and also just like managing and learning people skills. From all of that. So yeah.
Thank you guys. My next question is, how often do you guys collaborate with other students, either in other programs within Dodge or outside of the normal film school? So who do you collaborate with and what kind of things do you guys do outside of the classroom? Caroline, you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. I feel like broadcast journalism and documentary sounds like it's really different from the film program. And while what we learn is different, since we're learning more about nonfiction filmmaking, I would say outside of that, we work very closely with all other majors within Dodge College. A lot of the documentaries actually are getting produced by the creative producing majors. And then I myself, I'll also go on a bunch of film sets. I'll work as sound for them just because, you go to a film school, might as well utilize the amazing opportunities that are open to everyone here. So I feel like that's a really great thing. And then also CSBN is a club, so it's open to everyone. So inside the club, we have everybody from screenwriters to film production majors to even people that are outside of Dodge College. So it's really great that we get to work with like everybody and anybody, and you just kind of get to expand your scope and also meet people from a bunch of different places, and then working on projects as well. Like you're going to participate in a bunch of different things with different majors.
Thank you, Ilana.
Yeah, so as a creative producing major, I feel like collaboration's like really baked into like the fundamental of the creative producing major. You start off like freshman year already meeting people from film production, other majors, getting to collaborate on a bunch of different short films. And then starting your junior year, you collaborate directly with the film production program. You get paired with a director, and then you're also paired with cinematographers and production designers, all in the film production program. And we all work on a 7-minute short film that's like your junior level advanced production. And then that kind of continues into your senior year when you work on your senior thesis, collaborating with all the different emphases in all the different majors. And also, besides film production as well, the public relations, advertising, and entertainment marketing program. They work on advertising our films, and also broadcast journalism hops on as like behind the scenes photography, but also just camera work and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like a lot of the majors work into creative producing, whereas creative producing can also work into a lot of the other majors as well.
Awesome, Parker.
Yeah. Um, I was surprised when I got here, like just how much the College of Performing Arts and Dodge kind of collaborate, especially on set. So a lot of times that like different art majors will help be like art PAs or help with like set deck when we get onto sets. So that's pretty cool. And I was like, ooh, like you get to meet more people as you're here. But same with like music composition, like they'll be composing stuff for films. So I thought that was neat, but also like everybody just wants people on their set. So like I found that every time I go on a set, there's always someone I didn't know that might not be in Dodge, and it's just great to meet people every time.
Yay. Leo, I'm going to let you answer, but I'm going to throw in one more because I think this is a question we get a lot is how much do you collaborate with the other emphases? And then also how much do you collaborate with the other programs?
Totally. You collaborate the most directly with the other emphases because your editor, your production designer, etc., you are all the key crew on your film. So it's given that film and TV production students will all be working together between emphases. And by doing that, not only will you be taking just in your classes the foundation level class in each emphasis, so you know the basic levels of everything, but you'll be learning just by interacting with the students in different emphases. As for working with the other majors, you have different extents to which in each project you'll work directly or indirectly with them. For example, whether you're doing a like a film production or a documentary, a lot of times, sorry, animation and VFX students will be brought on to help out and do direct animation. My buddy, I mentioned this last time, my buddy who did a documentary that had a budget was able to pay sophomore animators to do animation for his film. In a different example, let's say that I'm writing and directing the thesis that I'm working on. I may not have a screenwriter, but I will be constantly finding screenwriters to read my script and get feedback on it. I'll be finding also film and media studies students who understand script really well and story really well to read my script and get feedback, as well as maybe provide my own feedback from my director perspective on other students as well. So if someone wants as many perspectives as possible, which they should if they're doing film, there's always different ways to incorporate other majors and other MCs into what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I think that's a question that we get a lot. They're like, yeah, sure, you say you collaborate a lot, but like, how do you actually do that? Does anybody want to answer how that collaboration happens? Is it naturally? What do you think helped you guys collaborate or get to start meeting people starting in your freshman year? What are things that people should look forward to or think about joining when they get here?
I can answer a little bit. I feel like it kind of kickstarts like right when you get to Chapman. You like get into the freshman dorms, and a lot of the Dodge majors are actually like put on the same floor. So instantly your next door neighbors are also going to be like have similar interests to you in Dodge. They might not be the same major as you, but they have like really similar interests. So I feel like the collaboration starts from that. You meet new faces all the time in the hallways, and you end up being like, I'm also in our introduction to filmmaking class. Like, we should collaborate on our next project together. And it just kind of happens really naturally. You don't expect it to be natural. You expect to come here and you're like, I have to really push myself to network as soon as I get here. But it's really baked into everything that we do. And like, your classes, like, I think it's Intro to Visual Storytelling. It's like the first class that you take. And it's with all the different majors and emphases. So you're already collaborating with people, whether it's like in your major, in your emphasis or not. So you meet so many different people and get to learn all different perspectives of who to work with. And like when that happens, like it's right when you get here.
Yeah, I just want to add to that too, is like, especially for freshmen, they'll get that. But if you're a transfer student, like I transferred into the school, so it's like a lot different for us. But I would absolutely agree with what Alana said. Like it comes so naturally, like that might be something that you're really scared about, but just by joining clubs, literally just attending class because your class sizes are so small, you will get to know people so well within the first couple months that you're here and feel comfortable being here just because of how tight-knit the environment is here at Chapman.
Awesome. Out of all the schools that you guys applied to and considered, why did you choose Dodge and Chapman? What were you looking for? That I know that's specific to every person, so I'll give you guys all a chance to answer, but let me know the things that you were looking for and what stood out about Chapman and Dodge. Alana, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I feel like like story of coming into Dodge is a little bit abnormal. I actually only applied to Dodge, but that was because I'd done such extensive research on what I wanted to do in college, and I found that producing was kind of like my weird niche of like creative side and like collaboration, but also like business and organization. And I was like, I want a major that can have both of those things. And Dodge is the only place where you can find an undergrad program that focuses in producing. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I was like really like set on coming to Dodge and I applied early decision. So if anyone has early decision questions, please. But I feel like knowing like what I wanted to do coming into college really helped, and it made choosing Dodge so easy because they were like really transparent about what the program entails, and like what you see online and what you see students talking about is what you get when you come here. And I think that's so important about creative producing is because it kind of sounds like what is creative producing, but it is what they tell you it is. And if you're passionate about producing, like that's why I chose Dodge, is because no other school offers that. And I also think another thing that factored into that is like you get here and you start right away. I found that at a lot of other schools you had to like do general education first, and it doesn't really like lead into film right away, and I really wanted to get started at what I was passionate about. I didn't go to like a film high school, and I wanted to like sink my teeth into what I was passionate about, and Dodge offered that, and that's why I wanted to come here. I wanted to get that hands-on experience that Dodge offers, and I got that. So yeah.
Awesome. Parker?
Yeah. Similar to Alana, Dodge was the only school that had my major or that has advertising and PR and marketing, but under like that entertainment bubble kind of thing. So that was definitely a draw. But I was between like other schools that had like large films, like film schools, but also like I could get that marketing degree. And I just found that at Dodge, everyone was like happier. Like, I don't know, I would walk around and everyone was smiling and they would hold the door open for you, which seems like that's normal, but maybe it's not because I could see like very sunshiny faces and like people had like good things to say. Like even like I'd be on a tour and like people would walk by and be like, I love it here. And I'd be like, oh, okay. So that was like definitely a pull, but also like the aspect of collaboration, like it truly didn't seem like a competitive like in the film school. Like people want to work with you and like hype you up because at the end of the day, like it's not that big of an industry and like these are your gotta be your coworkers and it's just like building those relationships from the start like was definitely a draw.
Awesome. Caroline, do you want to go next?
Sure, yeah. So since I transferred, I came from a different background. I didn't really know what I wanted to do as much in college. I knew I wanted to be in the film industry. I just didn't know where I wanted to be. So when I transferred, I was actually coming from a film background, and I chose Chapman for the broadcast and documentary program that they had because I had realized that I was really interested in nonfiction filmmaking, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do broadcast or documentary. And the great thing is, if you're interested in this program, you can actually kind of dip into both because we don't you don't have to pick a specific emphasis, doc versus broadcast. You can kind of take classes in both. You'll have a specific capstone, but I think it's really great that you're able to cross over both ways. And so by being here, I was able to realize like, oh, I really like broadcast and I really like the live production aspect. And the reason I came here also is kind of similar to what Parker was saying. Like everyone here is so nice, and it's such a tight-knit, collaborative environment that I really wanted to be in, because I didn't really experience that at my previous university. It was really big. It was hard to get to know professors. And then when I came here to Chapman, and what I was looking for is a small, tight-knit environment where I got to go get to know my professors really well as all the different programs that are offered here at Chapman, not only from clubs like I was talking about CSBN. I also forgot to mention there's a college radio program here at Chapman, Chapman Radio, and that's something I'm also a part of. And just all these different experiences opened the doors for me to become like where I am now and be a part of like what I'm interested in, and really has solidified my passion for broadcast journalism and just live production in general. And so I really have not regretted my decision at all coming here. And Chapman has just probably been one of the best things to happen to me, and also really just kind of opened my eyes to be like, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is where I want to be.
Awesome. Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, I mean, you guys talk so much about the school itself. I want to talk a little more about like I don't know, the area around it, like the fact that Orange is like close enough to the beaches. It's a great distance away from LA. Like I personally wanted to be like in a suburb outside of a main city, and I think that this location is like fantastic for that. You're close enough to everything. We've got the beautiful Orange Circle by us. And then in terms of the school itself, I mean, it's just the amount of production that happens and the amount of opportunities you get to be hands-on, to work with seniors. When you're coming in as a freshman, you work with seniors who a lot of times are already working in the industry, learning a lot of that hands-on experience, getting access to these cinema level cameras, getting access to the professors that either have crazy awards or are still working in the industry and have really cool stories to tell you, and just so much experience. Like it's just the amount, like I basically came in knowing nothing about film, and then by the end of my first year, like the crazy like exponential level of learning and growth that I had about film is just because of the resources that the school provides. And that's because of what Alana was saying about how like you jump right in and you immediately just like you don't need a film background because we'll catch you up on everything. And by the end of that first year, you were like ready to go to start narrowing down and finding your niche and then building your skills, or be a generalist, because the school has so many opportunities to learn production and writing and the theoretical stuff, for example, anything you can really hope to learn.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Caroline, I have a question specific for you. I actually have two questions. Someone is asking for transfer students. Do you think you missed out on any of the curriculum or maybe unique experiences that freshmen had in the first 2 years or anything like that?
That is such a good question. And yeah, definitely transfers you'll have a different experience, but I don't think that you're going to necessarily miss out on things. I think there's a really great way to kind of like substitute it. So while incoming freshmen will have a Fenestra forum and like an orientation week, we will also have an O week. And actually the great thing is we have one just for transfers. So there are actually a bunch of transfers within Dodge, and they are like a small tight-knit group. So you actually get to know everyone, and you will also take that same like intro to visual storytelling class that everyone does. But my section was actually with only transfer students, which I thought was great. So I wasn't, like with people that are younger than me, but I was with the class that I was supposed to be. And then on top of that, of course, there's so many clubs to be a part of. So there's really great ways to just kind of supplement it. And it doesn't feel like I've put myself away from like people who came in as a freshman versus like now, because of how like everyone really gets to know each other between classes, and then just being a part of like different organizations. It's kind of a fun fact more now finding out like, oh, you transferred, but like you can't even tell, and it doesn't really make a difference at all.
Thank you. While I have you, someone must know that you were on this info session because one of the question is, are there internships or job opportunities available in addition to Chapman sporting events? So just a specific to the college here.
Yeah, like
Go
within
off, Caroline.
Yeah, within Dodge or like outside of.
Outside, any internships that you've done to sporting events, if you want to throw
Yes,
in any of the events that
absolutely.
you've
So
done.
actually, I work freelance as a commentator for Division One sports. So I got called to work for Cal State Fullerton, which is a nearby college, and I call their Division One volleyball team as well as softball and water polo. And that's because of the experience that I had in CSBN. So the club here, I was able to develop my reel and also just be on camera more and things like that. And then I was able to get a call from Cal State Fullerton and start working for them. And because of that opportunity, I also got another opportunity where I'm actually this upcoming weekend going to be calling a USA Women's Water Polo Tournament. So I'll be calling Division One games for Stanford, USC, UCLA, which I'm really excited about because these are some of the Olympians that I've looked up to playing previously because I used to be an athlete. And I'm really excited to actually be calling those games for them. So a lot of the opportunities, not only we have a career center within Dodge College, but because broadcast journalism and documentary is a small major, you will get to know the professors really well. And they're the ones who will also help you find internship opportunities. Like our department head, her name is Sally Rubin. She sat myself down and another transfer student, and she was like, I know you guys are transfers, so I'm going to put you on this emailing list. And I'm going to give you guys opportunities before other students since you guys have to play catch up a little bit. And so within my first month here, I was actually able to intern as a documentary assistant editor, and my claim to fame is I got to edit a interview with Shaquille O'Neal. So that was really fun. But yeah, not only that, but just the professors here. There's Michelle Polfrey, who's an executive producer at Good Day LA. She's given us the opportunity to go visit her news station, and she works for Fox. So she's definitely helpful when applying for internships and things like that, but just the professors and the people here. So you are absolutely going to have so many different opportunities to get an internship. And I think our stat is that 93% of people here have at least one internship while they're at Dodge.
Thank you so much. Parker, this next question is for you. How is the public relations, advertising, and entertainment marketing major and its subject? So, do you take classes in all of them? Do you pick a specific one? Talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, so it's similar to broadcast and documentary because you don't actually have to choose an emphasis, which I really liked because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I also I wanted to get that like PR aspect and marketing and then see like how does the entertainment kind of fit into all of it after. So you have to take like an introductory level class for all of them, but then you can kind of choose like, oh, for my advanced credit, do I want to take advanced writing for PR or do I want to do entertainment marketing? And then like this similarly for your like capstone, your kind of thesis thing, you can choose, do I want to market for a senior thesis or do I want to do like an ad campaign for a local restaurant or something in the circle? Like you can kind of again tailor that to your experience. But I've really appreciated, which I didn't really mention club wise, was our student advertising firm. So we are actually part of the National Student Advertising Competition. So anybody can apply into our firm and it very much mocks an actual ad agency. So we have like a media department, a film department, copy, strat. I'm in the strategy department, so I'm the director this year, and we get a client. So this year's NFL, they give us a brief, and throughout the whole year, we develop a campaign for them with their budget, their goals, all of that, and then we present to NFL. So like that has been something where like I've been able to take what I learned in my classes and like actually make something for a company. And I feel like confident because of this and because like everything kind of supports that as well. Just being able to like walk into any interview with like my plans book for NFL and being like, I made this and I can talk about it because of that experience. So I think like that kind of goes beyond our classes, but that, for example, is my like senior thesis. So hope that helps.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. Leo, this next question is for you. Is for production students, are you able to work on projects in roles outside of your emphasis? So, for example, I know you're a director. Can you be a cine or editing student on someone else's project?
Super good question. The great thing is in your early years, freshman, sophomore year, you will be doing basically all the roles. And when you are in your sophomore year doing your intermediate production, you'll be able to work in all these roles as well. You'll be able to shoot someone else's film, direct your own film, as well as write it. First AD, edit someone else's film. It's great because in the beginning, when you're still trying to figure out what you want to do, like there was no like film up in Seattle, so I only did editing, and I came in thinking I wanted to be an editor, and I ended up switching to directing eventually because I got to try it, and I realized I loved it so much. Um, After sophomore year, you get locked into your emphasis, and after that point, of course, when it comes to side projects, independent projects, you can do whatever you'd like. Um, but for the films that you make here as your like junior thesis and senior thesis, you're going to be working in your emphasis. If you're a cinematographer, you'll be shooting your junior thesis, shooting your senior thesis. Director, you'll be directing them. Um, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Alana, this next question I feel like is appropriate for you, but if Leo wants to jump into, because it's sort of production producing, is how do students fundraise their films? Do they get grants? How do producers help during that process? And kind of what is your support to production students during that?
Yeah, totally. So basically the like projects that you'll like need funding for, start your junior year. The projects that you'll be working on freshman and sophomore year and like your intro to visual storytelling and just like kind of side projects you can do with an iPhone camera with no budget. You can get a camera from the school. You can like loan out a camera as soon as you get here basically, to make and like shoot all your own like short films and stuff. But once you're a junior and you do your junior level thesis, once you enroll in the class, you're given $2,500 from the school to produce your junior level film. So, and I've done it before. It is plenty enough money to produce a 7-minute short film. And honestly, they do it as a reason to be a challenge. You're not allowed to fundraise any exterior money for this production in general. They track that really closely. They want you to practice with those parameters of having a tight budget and not going over budget. And while it is a challenge, it's really fun to like move your budget around and figure out how each department can fit into your budget and what requires more money versus not, depending on your script and the constraints and all of that. Like, talk about how to use your money is in collaboration with everyone on your project. It's not just up to the producer of like, oh, $500 goes to the camera department and another $600 goes towards food. No, like you are collaborating and talking to all of your team to decide where that money's going, and how you're going to utilize it for the best like ability of your projects that you're working on. And then it's a little bit of a different story for senior thesis because for a senior thesis, you're paired with people in their emphasis. So as a senior producer, I bring a certain amount of money to my project. And then my director also brings a certain amount of money to the project. And then each key crew member, so like um, cinematographer, production designer, editor, sound designer, and then also unit production manager, brings a certain amount of money as well to the project. And at the end of that, if you've crewed the most amount of seniors that you can on your project, I believe the amount of money that you should be getting from the school is around $8,000 to $10,000 to start off on your senior thesis. And if you write a script that is very producible and in producer terms, it's like easier to produce, not so many big expenditures that you need to like build a huge set for. You could do it in a reasonable budget. You could totally make a senior thesis with that budget from the school without fundraising any exterior money. But if you want to to choose and decide to make a little bit of a bigger project, fundraising is welcome for senior thesis. And in fact, I'm working on a senior thesis that I will be fundraising as well, and I think Leo is as well. But basically, the way that that works is a lot of the time students will get together and do like GoFundMe's or Seed and Sparks, which are like fundraising platforms to raise money for productions. Seed and Spark is a little bit more of like the niche, like film production raising money program. And you like work with your team to campaign and kind of write up different things that you can work on for like towards that to raise money. There are also grants that Chapman offers that you can apply to. There is a Woman of Chapman grant. So if you have a story that's like focused on women, or if you have a high like percentage of women on your crew, you're allowed to apply to that. I think anyone's honestly allowed to apply to it. But you submit your script, write about why the story matters to you, and it'll get like reviewed by a panel to see if like they'll give you money for that. There's also a bunch of other ones that Chapman offers. You can also talk to different like people at the school and they might have different opportunities for you to like raise money. So yeah, it's a lot of collaboration with the people that you're working with in order to raise money. It's not just like up to the producer, I guess. But yeah, it definitely falls under the producing category because the the producer is in charge of the budget. So yeah.
Leo, do you have anything to add?
Alana totally covered it.
Okay.
I do want to highlight that like you can totally make your film for senior thesis without fundraising, but if you've got like some locations, for example, that I was looking at for my movie last week would cost like $2,000 per day, and so that would not be doable under the $10,000 budget. And so then it's about either choosing a different location or finding a way to raise that money. And people do a lot of like collaborations with local stores. People also throw their own events, and find different things that like they can give out that's not at a huge cost to them in order to bring in a lot of money. I had some friends do it very successful. They just threw like a little like a mini rave in a cute like painting shop in the Circle. They just threw like a little party there, and you got to pay for tickets to go in, and they made a ton of money. So fundraising could be really fun and bring a lot of people together and not only spread awareness for your film, but get people interested in even helping out on it.
Awesome. Leo, since I have you, this one's for you too, is how do you get actors? Do you work with students in the screen acting program or, how do you guys try to find actors for your films?
Yeah, there's tons of really, really talented actors at the College of Performing Arts that we will often collaborate with. That's who you would pull 100% for like your intermediate production for your junior thesis. Like it's just like the best level of talent for what you're looking for. Um, Honestly, like for freshman year, you might just be working with each other in your class. Like you might be acting in your friend's film, or your friend acts in your film. That's all super fun. But in terms of getting more professional actors, I mean, go to the College of Performing Arts. A lot of times, starting at around sophomore, junior level, you'll also post on Backstage and casting call websites. We have casting call Facebook pages that are already created for Chapman, as well as there's a tons of like famous websites that you can post your casting call and you post like a synopsis of your film, description of your characters. Sorry, guys. Description of your characters, and then you'll get a bunch of people interested sending in their self tapes and audition tapes. You can also choose between working with union actors, SAG actors, and non-SAG actors, and there's a bunch of rules that you'll learn how you can deal with those as well, the differing levels. And then we also have a casting help at the school. Russell Boast is our like casting director at Chapman. And a lot of times, like if you're like, I'm having a hard time casting this one character, he knows all the screen actors from all the grades very, very well. And he'll be like, have you tried talking to this person? Have you tried talking to this person? Or he's got his network of actors that he's worked with in the past that he's like, I know this person would be really good. Even like for an independent I did my freshman year, we just had our like directing professor review the script, and he was like, I know someone who'd be really good for it. So a lot of the professors that have like been in the industry for so many years just know either like past students that have graduated or actors working in the industry, and we'll be able to connect you with them. And so it's a really, really fun process, honestly. Like the main things you need for your film to be good are script and actors. And some people will say location as well. But if your actor is good, your movie's gonna be good because people like to watch people. So
Thank you. Can any of you guys share experiences if you have studied abroad or taken a travel course? And also maybe explain the difference between the two if someone does not want to do a full study abroad semester.
I can talk about taking a travel course a little bit. So especially as a transfer, I like didn't have as much time to go abroad, and the great medium in between that is a travel course. So Chapman offers a ton of different travel courses, which is basically instead of going abroad for a semester, you'll go abroad for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks between like the winter break or the summer break, and they have so many different programs, some that are specific to Chapman, and then there's a lot that are also specific to Dodge. So, for example, you could go to the Cannes Film Festival, or you could go to the Sundance Film Festival, or you can go to Korea and visit the film industry over there. I had a friend who did that, and she really liked it and went to do like got to see their broadcasting over there as well. They also have ones that take place in London, and you get to see, I believe, like the Harry Potter and like Marvel Studios over there. But the one I got to do was a documentary travel course, and they host these basically every single semester, and they go somewhere completely different. So they've gone to New Zealand, Scotland, Hawaii, Japan. Last summer, they went to the Swiss Alps, and then I got to participate on a course where we traveled to Thailand, and I got to make a short documentary about the blooming jazz scene over there, which was super cool. It's basically like hanging out in jazz clubs in Thailand like every single night, which was really fun. But travel courses are really great opportunity if one, you don't have as much time, or two, you don't want to be abroad for so long.
Awesome.
yeah.
Go ahead,
And then
Phil.
for study abroad in general, like the travel course, um, like Caroline mentioned, has a bunch of like activities and like an itinerary for you to go check out a ton of stuff. And it's all very like organized. Study abroad is different because you're kind of out there either on your own or with friends. There's no itinerary because you're making your own schedule. You're of course out there for a longer time, so you have more time to go get to know places. There are different lengths. Like you're basically going to be enrolling in a semester at a different school around the world, and then you'll be able to transfer the credits that you take there here at Chapman. And so some courses, like some schools, because they're on like a quarter system, some people go abroad and they're out there for 3 months and then they come back. And some people go abroad and they're out there for 6 months. Like I was out in Spain for like 5.5 months because they had like a even a longer semester there than here. And so I studied abroad in Madrid. And I'd super highly recommend either a travel course or study abroad. It's a really, really cool opportunity, of course, to just expand your horizons. For Dodge specifically, we recommend you save some of those general education requirements because those are the ones that are taught at every school. You want to take your film classes here because, I mean, they will be probably better here. So save your gen ed requirements. Don't do like math or science because those can be really hard, and you don't want to be out there like in your room studying all day. Like you want to take the easier classes, and then take the opportunity to get to know the place you're in, to travel around wherever you're at. I had buddies that went to South Africa. I had buddies that went to Australia, New Zealand, literally all around the world. That's the great thing about Chapman is that like other schools need like direct partner programs and only have like a few options. Literally, think of a country, think of a place or city. Chapman's got a program to send you over there. It's super fantastic and easy and fun. You start the process like 3 semesters before you go. So there's a lot of time and preparation that goes into it, and it's all very organized. They help you get your visa and everything. And at least in my experience, like the process, having all that time it gave me a lot of time to be like, should I do this? Should I do this? I'm so nervous. If you start feeling that way, just do it because nobody regrets it and everyone absolutely has the best time. Yeah.
Thank you. My next two questions are for the group, so feel free to jump in as you think of something or if it's appropriate and it fits you. How do you guys or how did you guys get around your freshman year? Do you need a car? Does Dodge feel like it's way off campus? How do you manage the back and forth between everybody?
I feel like I can answer this because I'm a senior and this is my first year having a car here. I'm an out-of-state student, so it was a little bit difficult to kind of like convince my parents that I really needed a car here. And I will say, you do not need a car to be successful here, especially your first few years. I found that a lot of the things that I wanted to do and that my friends were doing were within walking distance. And if we did want to go somewhere, someone with a car like could drive us there. Like the circle and like the Chapman community and where it's located is so easy and like easy to get around, super safe to walk around like with your friends and just like go to class. Because the dorms are like a 15-minute walk from Dodge, the actual like film school. It's a little bit of a farther walk, but you do not need a car to like get to class on time and like figure that all out. There's restaurants and really cute coffee shops all in the circle, which is like a 10-minute walk from where you're gonna live your first semester. So there's all of that. And there's also, once you like start living off campus, like if you decide like sophomore and junior year to live at like Chapman Grand and Court, which are like off campus housing options that are like apartments where you can live with your friends. There's shuttle buses that can take you to and from campus. Like I think they run until like 2 in the morning, honestly. And those are like super accessible and easy. You just have to plan a little bit more ahead for your like travel time. And I will say also, as a creative producing student, I was really nervous to not have a car. I felt that a lot of the producing positions, like you needed a car to get around, you needed to have a car to be on set. And that is not true. People are so open to like drive you place. If you want to get on set, someone will drive you and carpool with you. Honestly, oftentimes carpools are enforced when you're on set. So if you want to get on set freshman year, do not hesitate to try to if you don't have a car. That was something I was really nervous about. I was like, how am I even gonna get there? I don't have a car. And the producer was like, wait, we can literally drive you. It's like not a problem at all. And I will guarantee you that when you get here, if you don't have a car, you can have the same opportunities as people who do have cars. And I will say, like, internship wise, there's a lot of remote and Zoom internships that are offered as well. You don't have to drive to LA like twice a week to get a really great experience out of it. Chapman offers everything that you need here. And if you do end up having a car eventually, you're just expanding your horizons a little bit more. So either way is doable.
Awesome. Anyone else? Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Also, even if you do have a car and maybe you don't want to drive in LA traffic, like the train station is like minutes away, like maybe I don't know, couple hundred yards from Dodge. So if you want to take that to get to your internship, it goes straight to Union Station. And that is like something that lots of people take advantage of, regardless of if they have a car, because maybe they don't want to, sit in traffic. So it's definitely like possible with that one. I am local, so I have a car this year. I didn't last year. I could easily walk to Dodge, like a leisurely 15 minutes, a quick walk of 7 if you're running late. So it's you can get there. Sometimes you just gotta passion.
This is a question that we've gotten twice already. Can you guys all come from different background experiences? So, can you talk about things that you wrote in your creative resume and things maybe you did in high school? I think people get nervous or anxious that they don't have like this massive portfolio or huge background in film specifically, but obviously in other majors too. Can you guys talk about things that you did in high school that you put on your resume that you think were important or just showing your creative ability in general?
Yeah, I can start. I was participating in these like documentary competitions. They were like history based. Everything was like very academic in the area that I was at, and so like I would participate in like a healthcare medical student competition, and then I just happened to do like the video project instead of like I don't know the other medical ones. And so from these like academic competitions I like participated in, I had learned how to edit, and I had some like projects I'd done from that. And then once I knew how to edit, the stuff that I did for fun was just stuff that I shot on my phone, including like some like music videos I did with my friends for fun. And then I also just edited other like random like mini animated documentaries um, for my friends that were trying to start like a mini news. I feel like during COVID, it lasted like 6 months, but did that, and then also just like stuff like Fortnite edits for fun, using like the in-game camera. And then one thing I think that helped me get in, because none of that is super like high level, was I like started the like weekly video announcements at my high school, which also was just like setting up my friend's phone on two stack chairs in my living room at like midnight while my parents were trying to sleep, and like reading out the school news. Um, but I think that helped because that was like a proactive thing that was continued after I left. Um, but yeah, so I had no short films on my creative resume. The first short film I ever made was my Chapman application film.
Awesome. What about people in other majors?
Yeah, I actually just found mine. I was like, wait, I wonder if I could find my creative resume, and I did. And I could t say that I did not have a single short film on it. And I'm a creative producing major, so a lot of my stuff is has to do with producing films, and none of the things on my creative resume reflected like exactly producing, but skills that you use in producing. So, I mean, I did a lot of photography in high school, so I like did a photography class, so I included that I had worked on a year-long portfolio for that. I worked on like my mom owns like a vintage company, so I would work on all of, like the display cases and organizing that and coming up with schedules of how the different displays were going to work throughout the different months of the year. And I included that on my creative resume because I felt it like exhibited my skills in organization and also creativity, but it had nothing to do with film. I also like wrote movie reviews for fun, like in high school, and I did that kind of like freelance, and I'd have like people interact with me, and I use that as something on my creative resume. So not everything that you put on there has to be exactly film related or inherently creative. It can use those skills that you're going to use in your major and like in ways that you like are beneficial to you and like the way that you can reflect yourself. So, yeah.
Awesome. Parker and Caroline?
Yeah, I ran a lot of like social media accounts for my school and like different clubs, so that was something I put on there. I was on the newspaper, so like I would talk about like the different like centerfold spreads I did. But like Lana said, it could be anything. Like I didn't advertise for any films. Like I would like there was a play I wrote, like I put that on there. I've heard of people doing like recipes they created. So like honestly, like the more like creative things that you can show about yourself, even if they're not film, like the better. So
Yeah. There was like a high school film program that I was a part of, so like we did make like a bunch of like short films. Were they great? No, but they were really fun to do. So I put a bunch of those on there. And then I think I also got to do like a fun like little internship during COVID for like this film festival that was happening like virtually, and so I put that on there. And then I also yeah, also during COVID like I would do scrapbooking, so my friend and I would like exchange like a journal that we would like scrapbook films, and like it was like a letterbox but like as a journal. I think that was something. And then I might have put on there like a leadership, I was like a captain of my water polo team, so like I might have put that on there because like I didn't have too many other things, but I think those are some of the things that I put on there. Yeah.
Awesome. Since I have you, Caroline, someone had a question about Chapman Radio. Can you give us a little bit more explanation about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably one of the best things that happen at Chapman. I'm sure some other people on this panel have been on a radio show at some point, or if you haven't, you should definitely try it. But yeah, so Chapman Radio is the college radio here at Chapman University, and like it's completely streamed. It's award winning. Last year they went to New York for an IBS award and won, I think, the best online streaming radio show ever. And it's a really great class. You don't need to have any special qualifications. You'll basically just enroll in the class. You can take it, I took it during interterm, which is our winter break, or you can take it during the school year. And basically, they'll train you for 2 weeks in the radio station. They'll teach you how to use the audio board. They'll teach you how to download music. Then you'll also like create an Instagram account. You'll come up with your show name, your show concept, but you have the complete freedom to play whatever songs you want, to talk about pretty much anything that you want. So there's so many different shows out there that will do different things. Like there's one where I think it's a bunch of screenwriters who like write scripts, and like every single episode they'll have people come in and read the script. Or there's like another show where they'll talk about like somebody's ideal marriage and like how they want to get married. I think it's called Marry Me. And then my show, we basically base it off like we're like a music festival, and then we have like different stages, and then we play music based on a theme. Like last week we had a guest, or we've also had like friends come on, or we like do like we had a Halloween episode, for example. But it's really fun. So even if you're interested in like broadcasting in another way, I feel like Chapman Radio is a really good thing to be a part of, and it's also just like a fun creative outlet that you can join while you're here at Chapman.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay. Oh, go ahead, Parker.
I was just gonna say I was on the screenwriting radio one that you were talking about where they
Yes, that
like
one's so cool.
I think they write them when they're like really tired. And they like they save them and then they don't really know what they are before like they cast them, and all of a sudden we're in this beautiful story. So I was just gonna give my positive
Yeah,
experience with that.
they're so cool.
I was saving this question for a little bit later because I think it's one of the most important, but I think people are the most interested in is can you guys, and you can jump in and talk about what you've experienced, but can you guys talk a little bit about the master classes, how they work, which ones you have gone to, how do you sign up for them? Just give us a little background on anything you guys have. Go ahead.
You can totally start. Master classes are so much fun because it's very inspiring. Okay, there's like the level of like, oh, it's a celebrity, great, but like coming from Seattle, like I like never saw any celebrities, and then moving out here, I was like, well, this is crazy. But then once you like meet, not meet, but like watch in person and interact with enough of these artists, and you realize they're just like you, they're just at a different point in their career. It's really inspiring to see where they came from and how they got to where they are now. And you know, in the film industry where everyone's path is different, the more paths that you can hear about, um, like the actual specific step by step may not be the most useful because it will be different for everyone, but you'll be able to extract like what are like the details of their personality, how did they manifest their like ambition, how did they use their time, what was their like attitude towards life, like those things I think are really really interesting to learn about from different people. Um, and so, well, the way it works, like the more big and famous actors and directors that come in, you'll join a lottery. The lottery that just got posted like 2 days ago is for Ariana Grande, and then basically like Ariana Grande will show up on a day. They'll screen the whatever movie they're promoting. So for her, it'll be Wicked. They'll screen Wicked 2, Wicked for Good, and then she'll come on stage and do a Q&A. Basically, out of the 500 seats, 300 of them will be handed out. Usually, around 300 will be handed out through tickets, and then about 200 will be saved for a standby line. And that depends. Sometimes teachers can reserve a row for their class, but usually it's like divided like that. For the standby line, they'll hand out tickets at 9 a.m. And so people for these big celebrities may line up like the night before and bring an air mattress and wait all night. That way we can let the people that didn't win the lottery but really, really care about seeing um, these celebrities earn it and get their ticket in. And it's super fun. And just to name a few other recent ones, we had honestly, some really big ones this year. Dwayne Johnson came, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, to promote Smashing Machine. Jeremy Allen White was here, I think, on Tuesday for the Springsteen movie. And some of my personal favorites I've seen were like the Duffer Brothers and Freshman Year was really cool. Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing was like maybe the most inspiring. Recently, Adam Scott, the lead of Severance, they played the Severance season 2 finale in the theater, which was so sick. Um, and then cast of Everything Everywhere All at Once came in parts, which was cool. Yeah. You guys, anyone else want to throw in some like fun ones?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention also that like for master classes, I feel like the theater experience is so fun and like a lot. Obviously, at film school, we all love going to like AMC and going to see movies together because like reacting and seeing people's reactions is so fun. But like we also get to screen like TV shows in a big theater and like have that reaction with people, which is like so rare. I had went to like not a master class, even though Adam Scott did end up coming here. I went to like this like really cool like master class like panel in LA, and it was to screen the last episode of Severance when it had come out, and I was like, I really hope Adam Scott ends up coming here, and he did. But anyways, at that screening like a TV show with an audience is like has that same movie feel that like we all like crave when we watch TV but we never get. And these master classes like when those TV people come here, it's like so awesome to like see that reaction, and when they come out they can like feel the energy in the room. And yeah, I recently just went to the Dwayne Johnson one. Last year I was at Billie Eilish, which was so awesome. Like it's not even just like people who star in movies and like TV. We have like musicians come. Ariana Grande is in movies and TV, but she is heavily influenced in music and stuff too. I'm a huge like comedy lover. So if you're like really worried that like the only people Dodge are bringing are like Oscar winners and the people that are in like the trades right now, no, last year or the year before we had Bill Hader and Judd Apatow, who were like two of my like heroes. So to like be front row for them was like such like a full circle moment for me. So I think those experiences of like yes, they're bringing people who are like in the trades doing things currently, but also like industry veterans who know so much about like what we want to do and like different arenas where we all like come from and want to like learn more is so important, and Dodge like brings all the different people in. So it's awesome.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just got to see Jeremy Allen White come and we screened Bruce Springsteen, so that was pretty lit. He is exactly like Carmy in The Bear. I also got to see like Anthony Hopkins, and then I think one of my favorites, actually, this sounds really weird, but was to see Ken Jennings because we played a live version of Jeopardy. And so it was literally like 500 college students with their phones open, and you're like playing Jeopardy with Ken Jennings on the stage. And like it got pretty rowdy, but it was really fun. So yeah, exactly like Alana was saying, it's like a bunch of different people come.
Awesome. I know that's one part of what our Career Center obviously is busy doing is bringing these huge masterclass guests, but can any of you guys talk about the workshops that we put on that are specific to different emphasis, majors, or parts of the industry that maybe are not like the most popular?
And the Career Center provides resume and cover letter workshops just in general for everyone. You'll have like real industry professionals in there, including Joe Rosenberg, who spearheaded the whole program, who was an agent for over 30 years at CAA, who represented directors like David Fincher, Ridley Scott, actors like Scarlett Johansson. And so I mean, as someone like him who's looked at so many resumes all his life, like getting resume feedback from himself and the other employees and student workers that have been trained to like understand what makes a great resume is super, super helpful. And then another really cool, not only, or he does like a cup with Joe as well, which is where you just show up and have coffee with him and just pick his brain, and just get in to talk to someone who has so much experience like that and knows so many people. And of course, very, very helpful. But there are also a ton of alumni drop-ins, and you'll get people who graduated anywhere from like last year, 2 years ago to maybe 10 years ago, and you'll hear about where they are now. We've had I'm gonna forget their names, but like one of them was like the president at Ridley Scott's production company. One of them, or a couple of them, were like the Emmy winning editors of Euphoria season two. And then that's also really helpful because you get to hear like another example of like the path that I was talking about of like, okay, you graduated Chapman, what next? That's like the big question that everyone has, and they'll be able to explain, well, next I did this and this and this, and then I won the Emmy. So super helpful, super inspiring as well.
Awesome. I wanted to add because I pulled up the email just to reference it, but some of the workshops that we hosted this semester, again, just in different areas, was think like a streamer. So algorithms powering Hollywood. Again, super helpful to know because we're teaching the business of the business, not just the craft of being creative. How to be an award-winning editor, pitching a pilot, so how to sell your sizzle reel. And then the other one, which Ilana seems like would be interested, is how to be funny. So I thought that was cute. One last question for us because there's only 4 minutes left is what is one piece of advice you would give yourself if you were in this stage of the application slash you just applied? What would you go back and tell yourself? I'm gonna go through my screen just so we can end and nicely. So Parker, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I would just tell myself to like relax a little bit, especially because I assume many of you maybe are seniors or transfers who have already submitted. And just like you gave it your all and like it sucks to wait, but like you're almost there kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know. Pat on the back.
Caroline?
Yeah, honestly, echoing what Parker said, like I was very nervous when I had submitted. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I missed something. But you know what? You put your all into that application, you gave it everything that you could, and now it like you've just sent it off. So you just try not to think about it too much or overthink things. You did the best you can. And like that is so much work, especially if you've submitted to multiple different universities. So, yeah, honestly, good job for you. And all you have to do now is wait.
Leo?
Um, well, I would want to hear stuff though, like preparing myself for what's coming. So I would say to remember that like um self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and thoughtfulness, like all of these are super, super big factors in what we are part of, which is a relationships industry. So you're going to like guarantee learn all the skills you need, whether it's that like you want to use a camera or you want to know how to run a broadcast, like those skills you're going to get. But what's going to bring you farther in your career and make like the real difference is what kind of person you are on set. And if you're someone who cares about everyone around them and is super respectful and brings people up and is just fun to be around, then that will make a huge difference. And so just tapping into that side of yourself.
Awesome. Ilana?
I think I can like combine everything that everyone just talked about because it's so lovely. I mean, speaking from someone who applied to one school and that like 2 month period was like literally torture. I felt like every day I'd wake up and I would be like, oh my God, I wonder if they're reading mine today. Like remembering that like it's like your senior year of high school, or if you're a transfer, like it's your like transition period time and like grow yourself as a person. Like, yes, you just like submitted like such a like a milestone of your life and like you're waiting to hear back on something that like could determine your future. And I think that's just like a scary thought to think about in general and to just like sit with it and be like, I did all of the work and everything that I've done so far in my life and in high school and even in middle school probably like has got me to where I am right now and I can like be okay with myself and where I'm at right now. And I put all my work and my effort into that application, no matter what school it is, and it's gonna be okay. And taking like that time of like rest and like not having to work on applications to like grow yourself as a person. You're gonna be going to college in like basically a year, and like that's like not that much time. So just like remembering where you are, like take it all in and like grow yourself as a person, meet new people, even though it's your last year of high school, like go sit with new friends. Like you never know what you're going to learn and who those people are and like what they're going to teach you before you get to college. And I think that is so important. Like before you come to college and like before you like leave what you know and grow even more when you get here. So, yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to add, I have the pleasure of reading every single application, and I think my best advice to everybody is you will end up where you're supposed to be. I know this is a hard time. You are going to get difficult decisions, you're going to get awesome decisions, but like the panelists all said, you will end up where you're supposed to be. Enjoy the moment, make the most out of it. You put your best foot forward. Don't think there's this, special equation where if I do X, Y, Z, it equals this. We're looking for all different types of people. We're looking for creative people. I hope if you've had any interaction with my team, either on a virtual session, if you came for a tour, if you've seen us traveling, on the road, I hope that it was at least a warm and friendly welcome. Who knows? You could be a transfer student or a student in our graduate programs in the future. So I just want to say we wish you the best of luck and thank you so much for my panelists for joining us. I have one of the best teams on campus. I'm so proud of them, not only for all the work that they do, but also them giving back to prospective students. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.